In college prep, I took biology because I needed like a science credit. And I think I liked biology because low-key my biology teacher was hot. Like he was like in his early to mid 30s and he was like really good looking. And you know, he was really chill, and every time I finished my homework in class, he'd be like, yeah, you can do whatever. So I would take a nap. And then if I needed to wake up, he would like gently wake me up and be like, hey, I need to tell the class something, wake up. I'd be like, beautiful Prince Charming waking me up. One time, you know, during class, he got a call and then he picked it up and it was his wife. And I was like so heartbroken. After that, I stopped going to biology class.
Flashback.
The day that he told this old lady who was 70 years old that he had like a daughter, which is me, she never came to his class ever again.
End of flashback.
Just kidding. No, but like after that, I was just like, oh my god, you tricked me. I thought you were single. I was like early 20s and he was like early 30s. I was like, oh my god, I can make it. It's only a 10-year difference. These people, like my dad and my stepmom are like 10 years apart. That's fine. I was like, oh my god, he's perfect. He has a job. He knows like biology and he lets me nap, you know, as long as I finish all my stuff. Like I always did so well in biology because I was so motivated to have a nap during his class. And one time I was really hungry, and you know in science class you're not supposed to eat because there's like chemicals everywhere. I was so hungry, my stomach growled, and he came over and he's like, are you hungry? And I was like, mm-hmm. And he's like, you can like eat outside the class real quick if you want, if you're finished. And I was like, okay. And I was like squatting outside his classroom eating grapes, and people walking by were like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm eating, I'm hungry. And then I come back in and he'd be like, did you have a good snack time? And I was like, mm-hmm. And the more I spent time with him, the more I fell in love. He would let me eat and he would let me sleep as long as I finished everything. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god. I think because he was so beautiful and handsome and smart, like I always paid attention. You know, every time he taught something, I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, before his class, I wasn't bad in science, but I wasn't this good. For some reason in his class, I was getting like 90 to 95 every single time. Like, I don't know why. You know how some people are like looking at their teachers and just not like paying attention to what they're saying? I was doing the opposite. My brain was so focused on how beautiful he was. At the same time, I was like literally a sponge of intelligence. Like, I was like a fucking like cell eating everything that he was giving me. Like, he would tell me like, for today, we're going to be talking about blood types. And for these blood types, they protrude. And I would be like, now I know everything about blood types. Low-key, I forgot, but like that was years ago. I was basically the amoeba. Like, really. The mitochondria. That was me. The powerhouse. Yeah, I was like, he was the fuel. I was like the cells. I was dividing everything that I got every single day. I had the highest score in that class. How the fuck am I getting the highest biology score in that class? I'm not a science nerd. I don't care about science. I just need the credit. I was so good at science that my teacher, he was like, you should go into like chemistry. And like he like hyped me, he rizzed me up so bad that like the next year I actually did apply for chemistry. I went into that class and I didn't understand one thing. I was like sitting in there for the first week and they were like, okay, please turn to your table of your table of contents. We're gonna be tackling these subjects first. And everybody would just be raising their hands knowing the answer. And when it got to me, I'd be like, pass? And they're like, you can't pass. And I was like, then I have to go to the bathroom. And they'd be like, can you answer the question before you go? And then all of a sudden, I just did not understand anything. But to be fair, it was like biochem. So it was really hard. But oh my god, I was so good, and my teacher gaslit me into thinking that I was some like science prodigy. And low-key, I was like, oh my god, did I find my calling? I'm not a fucking musician. I don't like anime, and I don't like making creative content and streaming. I don't like any of that. I like science. I want to know why these cells exist and why they make up everything that they make up. And I want to be a part of the cure to cancer. And then I got into biochem, and I was just like, fuck that. We're all gonna die anyways. Who who fucking cares? I'm getting out of this class. He wasn't my teacher anymore. There was like this other woman, and she was hot too, but like, you know, I miss my hot biology teacher. I was so good in biology. I was like, what the fuck? Biochem is completely different. What the fuck? I literally had to go up to my teacher and be like, Miss, I'm so sorry. My teacher recommended me this class, but I don't even have a chemistry prerequisite. Like, you're not supposed to even be in biochem unless you have a biology credit and a chemistry credit from before. I didn't get a chemistry credit because my teacher just recommended me into biochem because he just thought I was that smart. I fucking got into that fucking class and I was like, oh my god, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I'm so fucking dumb. And also, that teacher's fucking dumb for thinking that I'm smart too. So on the first week of class, I sat down, didn't understand anything, and when we had to like do this thing where like the teacher, I forgot what it's called, but it's basically a quiz that like lets the teacher know how much you know or remember from last class. I looked at this quiz. It's not like supposed to be counted towards your grade, but they just want to know like what level you're at. I looked at the sheet and I didn't understand anything. And I looked towards whoever was like sitting beside me. And I looked at her and I was like being really fake and friendly. I was like, do you understand anything on this? And she was like, yeah, we learned this like last semester. And I was like, fucking bitch, I was just trying to make fun. Thanks for being relatable, bitch. Fucking, swear to God. So then I look over to my left and I was like, oh, I actually don't understand anything on this. And this guy was even more mean. He's like, why are you here then? I was just like, is every science nerd like super mean or something? Is there somebody nice in this classroom? Okay, forget about why the cells make all of us or why, you know, the earth exists or whatever. Why are you so mean? I want to know the science behind why you're so fucking rude. That's what I want to know. Can you not see this Asian girl sitting in the middle like struggling and like sweating her ass off because her teacher thought she was smart? Fucking bitch, I swear to God. So then at some point I literally went, I'm such a Chad, okay? I didn't understand anything on this quiz. First of all, I had this quiz in front of me, wrote my name, Enna Alouette, wrote the date, okay? Something, year, something. I looked over every question. I was like, nope, I don't get it. I stood up, went to the teacher. I was like, I don't understand anything. I legit like just did it in front of the class. I was like, Miss, I have a confession. I don't understand anything. The entire class laughed at me or was laughing with me. I don't know. Depends on my perspective. I was such a Chad. I was like, there's only one thing to do. She looked at me and she was like, did you try? And I was like, yes. And I have to tell you something else. I don't have a chemistry prerequisite. And she was like, how did you get into this class? I was like, I was recommended by a teacher. And then he was like, which teacher? And I exposed his name. I was like, this guy. And he's like, okay. Do you still want to be in this class? And I was like, no, I don't. I don't understand anything, even if I do want to be in this class. And she was like, okay, so I'll write a note and you can talk to the principal about like switching out of this class. It might take a week, so do your best. But you can still be in this class. You can still catch up. And I was like, I looked the teacher in the eye. I was like, no, I can't. And then I walked away. I literally went out the class and I went to the principal's office. And the principal was like, you want to switch your class even though you just started? And I was like, And he's like, what do you want to switch to? And I was like, I don't know, biology with this teacher? And he's like, he only teaches the grade that's like below you. I don't know how they did it. I forgot how they divided it, but I was like in a higher grade, and then the hot biology teacher was like only teaching like the grade below. So he was, my principal was like, you can't be in his class. Like, he only teaches like this level. And then I was like super heartbroken. It's as if I got rejected, like, you know, like not only does he have a wife, not only am I not in his class anymore, like I can't even see him anymore. Like literally this is like basically him telling me that we're breaking up. So I was like really heartbroken. So I was like, what other science classes are there? And he's like, chemistry or biochem. And I was like, you don't have a biology class? And he's like, nope, just biochem or chemistry. So regardless of if I'm in biochem or chemistry, I had to have like chemistry as a prerequisite. So I think I just joined like something else. I don't remember. I think I just joined like literature or something. It was just like a random one. I was really good at literature, you know. I would like write in literature. They'd be like, okay, write about your feelings. I'd be like, dear Mr. Biology teacher, today is the mark of the end of our days. Oh, how I miss your face and your lovely voice, the way that you would wake me up, and the words that you would say to me every time I was hungry, that it was going to be okay. I hope one day we will see eye to eye, and you will realize that your wife is not for you You know, I would write poetry like that, and I'd be like, oh my god, Enna, that's beautiful. And I'll be like, It's like, does this relate to anything personal? And I'll be like, I got my heart broken. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, I was doing really good in literature. I had like 95 and above. Not gonna lie. Every time I write about my, biology teacher, my literature teacher would be like, oh my god, the way that you're expressing yourself is so valid. And it's so beautiful. And it's just, I can feel your pain. I was like, I learned about blood types just for you. Mitochondria, how cells divide, and how things work. And yet for some reason, as my cells divide, so do we. Anyways, I hate school. I did my best though. I did really well in college prep. Because college prep is like, you just need certain credits to get into the university you want to go into. And I got all my credits. And then I applied for university. And then I looked at the price. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't afford it. Whoops. So I have all my credits. So I basically have potential. I just can't use it because I'm poor. That's about it. So I was like, you know what? Then I guess I'll just work my whole life like everyone else. Now my potential has run out and I'm fucking dumb as fuck because I can't remember anything from school.